Hello again, fellow podcaster, and welcome back to Pod Theory. I'm your host, Jason Cercone, and today we're going to take a look at what the most successful podcasters do. A successful podcast doesn't just happen. It's the result of thought, strategy, execution, and a metric shit ton of hard work. As a podcaster, you'll learn that each episode you produce comes with its own set of challenges, including, but not limited to, finding a guest, preparing questions, researching topics, scheduling, recording, post-production, publication, marketing. As I've preached on past episodes of Pod Theory, the more you know what lies ahead as you get into podcasting, the less surprised you'll be as you make podcasting a major component of your content strategy. So what do successful podcasters do to produce high-quality, engaging shows on a consistent basis? Well, for starters, they take time to strategize and prepare and think about what they want to do with their show. From marketing past episodes to gearing up for new ones to building ad campaigns, successful podcasters block time in their schedules each week to dedicate to the development of their show. It's best to set yourself up to be uninterrupted so you can plan out upcoming interviews, do research on guests, familiarize yourself with subjects and topics, build marketing campaigns around your show, and do all of the other items and activities that are critical to the success of your podcast. If you want your show to meet these demands, you have to put in the time necessary to make it happen. Another thing successful podcasters do is keep an open mind. Podcasting has been around for years, but it's still young and fresh in regards to mainstream acceptance. That means new shows, new ideas, approaches, hardware, software. They're all entering the podcast space on a daily basis. You never know when something may present itself that could break things open for your podcast. But if you're building your show with tunnel vision, you may miss the next big idea. Keep your eyes peeled and never be afraid to try something new. It may become the best thing that ever happened to you and your podcasting efforts. Successful podcasters also stay passionate about what they're doing. I get it. Passion can fade over time, and it can't be forced. This is why choosing a course for your podcast subject matter as a foundational step is so critical. The rule of thumb is to build your podcast content around a subject that you could talk about if no one was listening to you. When developing a podcast for your brand, you're at an advantage because the content will be closely related to your industry. And chances are, if you're working in a specific industry or you own a brand dedicated to a specific niche, your passion levels are pretty high already, or else you'd be finding a new path to travel. This makes a podcast the perfect vehicle for sharing your brand content. And finally, successful podcasters always keep educating themselves and improving their podcasting skills. As I mentioned before, the podcasting industry continues to grow and remold itself as something new. And as a podcaster in this space, it's up to you to stay on top of these developments or else you'll get left behind, plain and simple. Episode 50 of Pod Theory is all about why you can never stop learning as a podcaster. So go check that out when you're done here. And in that episode, you'll discover that I spend 30 minutes a day reading, watching videos, or listening to other podcasts to further my knowledge and build my skill set in podcasting. And taking time to educate yourself on a daily basis shouldn't just be limited to podcasting. Always be a student. Always be learning. Always work towards getting better. Never get complacent, both personally and professionally. Take a minute to evaluate your current approaches when it comes to your podcast. How much time do you spend planning upcoming shows? Are you doing enough prep work to ensure your productions are of the highest quality? Can you find a couple hours a week to block out all distractions and focus intensively on your podcast? Did you do something today to make yourself a better podcaster going forward? I can answer the last one for you. Yes, you did. You listened to Pod Theory. And for that, gold star. And that's it for episode 59 of Pod Theory. If you're a fan of this content, please take 30 seconds and share your thoughts on Apple Podcasts with a rating and a review. I'll give you another gold star if you do. Good talk. I'll see you back here tomorrow. This has been Jason Cercone on Pod Theory.